Good afternoon, everybody. I haven't vlogged for a long time. It's just gone 4 o'clock on the 30th of March, Saturday. It's my last day as a 40-year-old today, and obviously I turn 41 in the morning. So I thought I'd reflect on the last 12 months, both the positive and the negatives, and share with you what I've learned about myself over the last 365 days. So last year was another very challenging one for me. I get sick and tired of reading these self-help motivational posts from fucktard fitness professionals who tell you to always remain positive, and a positive mindset gets you through everything. Positive mindset doesn't stop you getting cancer, unfortunately. Doesn't matter how positively you think about not wanting to get it, if you're going to get it, you're going to get it. And last year, in the summer, I was diagnosed with testicular cancer. Fortunately, I have got the all clear. Still having a few issues, relatively minor. It's not affecting anything else, not affecting my training, not affecting my long-term goals. In fact, I pretty much carried on training as much as I could during that bout of cancer. I did keep it to myself. I didn't tell anybody, to be honest. Didn't want to be a burden to anyone. Just got through it in my own way. Which I successfully did. Probably should have told a few people because it had some very negative impacts on my mental health last year, which I don't really want to go over again. But last year, in terms of my mental health, the treatment I was getting for cancer massively affected my mental health in a particularly negative way, which wasn't very good. I obviously made some choices last year that weren't the brightest, but a concoction of drugs, sometimes you don't think rationally. And again, positive thought doesn't really do much when you're on a concoction of, or a cocktail of drugs that aren't particularly good for you. Some amazing things happened last year. Travelled a lot, twice to Spain, and also in end of April, beginning of May and December, and also to the Falkland Islands. Had an incredible time with Sean in Spain, my favourite country after Australia. Some incredible food, incredible trips to various different parts of Spain. We don't like going where there's lots of British people. Sean and I don't really like holidaying with Brits. We find them quite arrogant and not very good. So we try and go to, when we go to Spain, we go where lots of Spanish people live, work and eat, and we tend to have a really good time there. So that's been fantastic. Falkland Islands was an amazing experience as well. 12 weeks down there, 3 months of my life down on the Falkland Islands, working for the Ministry of Defence. Incredible period of time down there, incredibly challenging project. Learned a lot about the quality of contractors working for the MOD, and they're appallingly shite, to be honest. You can hide a lot of crap on the Falkland Islands, and there is a lot of crap working for the MOD down there. Not the military personnel themselves, but the civilian people contracted into them. Absolutely, generally shite, to be perfectly honest. That's where our taxpayers are being wasted. So a lot of challenging projects down there. Saw some amazing wildlife, some incredible penguins. Had a great time. And it was a great boost after having the sort of cancer scare last year to really focus on that. The other thing that happened is obviously I asked Sean to marry me, which he said yes. That's some time off because we've got a few challenges to get through as well. One of the things that last year taught me is that people who you think are your friends and family who you think will help you often don't. There's not much you can do about that, to be honest. Despite the fact that whenever anyone ever asks me for help, I'm always the first to give it. I very rarely ask for anything in return. Last year I did need some assistance from people I thought were friends, and virtually, well, a very small number of people came to my aid, and you know who you are, and I thank you for that eternally. But the vast majority of people didn't, despite me having helped them in numerous ways in the past, from employing them and finding jobs, to giving them money, to references, to all sorts of things. And very few of the people I thought were my friends came to my aid last year, and that's fine. My friendship group has narrowed significantly. It's not that I exclude fucktards from my life, but I've got no place for people that don't reciprocate help when it's given to them. And you don't give something to get something in return, but when you're on your arse, you do expect people to step up and help you, and very few people did. And that sort of aligns with my theory that the majority of British people are selfish cunts, to be perfectly honest, and that was proved in huge bundles last year, so I wasn't disappointed that my theory was right. But those friends who did help me, you know who you are. I won't mention you. I don't want to embarrass you more than anything else, but or myself. But thank you very much for everything you did and still do with the messages I get from you, checking that I'm okay and everything's all right. So I really do appreciate it. In terms of training, my training has took a bit of a dive through bad advice at the start of last year. Again, there are a huge number of fucktard cowboy fitness professionals out there giving you crap advice, selling you generic plans despite promising them to be bespoke. I've now got an amazing coach in Craig Pike, based in Weston-super-Mare of his gym, Sucks Gym, incredible facility. Get some occasional training in with an awesome bodybuilder who's entering his first show in a couple of weeks' time as a novice. He will smash the floor with virtually anyone that is up against. The guy trains like an absolute beast. His knowledge is second to none. His training intensity and is just, and he's an all-round. Probably won't like me saying this, but he's an all-round nice guy too. So I train with Connor when I can, but Craig is always at the end of the phone, providing me with every sort of advice, really, from mindset to making sure that I'm okay and that my training's on point, that my diet's on point. So I'm really looking forward to working with him to get to my first pro show towards the end of this year. Everything remains on track. I'm putting on a decent size, a decent amount of muscle. My training intensity has never been more impressive, to be honest, and I'm really, really pleased with the way things are going. Still some gripes about some parts of my body grow faster than others, but that's genetics. But the one thing that it has continued to expose is the number of duplicitous bastards in fitness who try and sell people crap information, and I will continue to make it my mission to call them out. To be honest, very few other people do it. It's a very sycophantic, very fake industry. I don't buy into the whole celebrity culture thing. If your modus operandi is selling your grandmother's kidney for a quick buck, then I will expose you. I will take the piss out of you, and I will blog about you and write about you. And if you don't like it, couldn't give a shit, to be perfectly frank. Just don't do it, is my answer to that. Looking forward to stepping on stage with a few friends. Again, in the fitness industry, there are a lot of people that pretend to be nice and say the things you want to hear, but there are very few people who are actually honest. I've got a small number of incredibly good friends who compete. I love them to bits, and I can't wait to see them on stage this year, and also to share the stage with some of them when I step on stage in Pure Elite in November. All in all, it's been a pretty testing and trying year. My years never get any easier, and that's part of the fun of it, really. I'm the product of every experience, good and bad, positive and negative, and I suppose I will continue to be. One of the things that infuriates me is this. You see it a lot in the fitness world, is people saying, well, banish all those people who don't agree with me, banish all those negative thinkers, and groupthink is incredibly dangerous. If you surround yourself with people with people who only think like you, you're not going to get the best advice, you're not going to get truth, you're not going to get honesty, and you find that there's a lack of integrity in your life. If you don't have a strong enough personality and character to take criticism and to take that negativity, then you're in the wrong industry, to be perfectly honest, and you ought to grow up and get into the real world. But anyway, my interest in politics is never waning, still really interested in that. The whole Brexit debate, you've probably seen my post on that. I'm still interested in politics, still will be. Still long-term aim is to get back to Australia, the quicker the better, but events of the last 12 months have meant that has had to be delayed slightly, all for the right reasons. So we are continuing to do what we need to do. I'm continuing to train. I'm continuing to enjoy my life and to overcome all the obstacles that continue to be put in my way. Looking forward to my birthday tomorrow. It's going to be a quiet affair. No real plans. I will just train. I'll train chest because that's my favourite body part now. And then crack on as if it were another day. And on that note, I better get showered because I stink. Speak to you all soon. Bye-bye.